My name's Tracy Bish. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Central Victoria, Australia, and I'm so excited for this week's challenge. The challenge actually I asked my mum Marion for a challenge theme and she told me ink smooshing, so that's our theme for this week. So it's going to be so much fun. Hi Glenda, how are you this morning? It's so great that you're here. So I think I'm live. I'm just waiting for it to see it come up. Always seems to be a little bit behind. It lags a little bit. So as you pop on, please pop on and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Glenda, can you tell me if it's come up as live for you? Oh, I think it is now. Okay, I think we've got it. Good morning, Deborah, how are you? It's nice to have you here. So I was just saying, this week's challenge is ink smooshing. Oh, that's better. It was a little out of focus. And I'm actually going back to using a stamp set that's been out for a little while. It's coming back, or it's now back in the annual catalogue, so it's moved over to the new catalogue, so I'm super excited for that. I did use it a ton when it first came out. I haven't used it in a while, so I really wanted to sort of grab some of those products that I've had sitting on my shelf that I haven't used for a while and bring them back to life. So the colours that I'm using for the card are Balmy Blue, Pacific Point and Starry Sky. Starry Sky is my favourite blue right now. I love these three colours together, aren't they beautiful? And the stamp set that I was just talking about is the Simply Succulents, and I'm also using the dies. Now the last catalogue had them in a bundle form. You could get them at 10% off. They are no longer available in the bundle form, so you have to purchase the dies separately, but you'll want them because not only do you have your labels and your dies that cut out the shapes of your stamps, you've got this beautiful background die, which is what we've used for today's card. So let me bring in and show you the card. I've used the succulents, but I've gone with blue because my favourite colour is blue. Hi Darcy from Sandy Hook, Manitoba in Canada. Lovely to have you here. Hi Marion from Germany. Oh, it's so great to see a few new faces and from all around the world. That's so exciting. So I really like this one. What we've used with the ink smooshing technique is you could use the Fluid 100 paper, but I've gone with the shimmery white paper, which is beautiful. It has a beautiful shimmer in it. I don't know whether it picks it up in the camera very much, but in real life, it has a gorgeous shimmer. And that's what I really love about this card. Okay, so we're gonna get started with it. So this week's theme, Tracy's Sunday Challenge, is ink smooshing. So as we're creating this card, please think about what you could create and to join in the challenge, because it's always great when we have new people join in. I have Starry Sky as our card base. Who loves Starry Sky? This is so beautiful. I love it. Then we have our piece of shimmery white. This is what we're going to do our ink smooshing technique on. I have an inside piece for our card, so you can't really write on Starry Sky, so I have an inside piece of basic white, and we also have another piece of basic white and an adhesive sheet, which I have cut to the same dimension. Now you can see all the measurements for this card on my blog, and the link to that blog is in the description of this video, so go and check that out. So, and I've also got one more little piece of the shimmery white for our sentiment. So I want to show first off how to create this die cut, and then we will do our ink smooshing technique. These beautiful adhesive sheets are fantastic for this sort of design. Good morning, Marion, how are you? because it becomes like a sticker, which makes everything super easy. For this, I'm just going to take 2 off. I'm going to add this down to the back with my shaky hands. And then we can take that final panel off at the back. Now this die that we're using is really intricate. So there we have a piece of basic white and our sticker backing. I'm going to grab that die out. And I have done one of these previously because it does take a little while to get all those die pieces out. So this is going to fit over the top. I'm going to bring my cut and emboss machine in. We'll do a quick die cut. I really wanted to show you guys how to use those adhesive sheets. They come in a big pack, and it's a really great tool to have in your stash, especially when you're working with intricate dies. And it just makes it really easy for you as well. So I'm going to place this on the top. One tip when you're working with intricate dies is to turn it to the side a little bit rather than going flat in or straight in. It will die cut it a lot better this way. Now, even though I've got the cut and emboss machine which cuts out perfectly all my dies, because this is so intricate, I am going to come back through a couple of times and make sure that it really cuts out. We have 2 layers there. We've got both the basic white cardstock and that adhesive sheet. So oh, thank you, Deborah. I'll have to put you on the payroll. So I'm just running this through a few times, and you'll know your own machine, but this will just save me later on trying to cut out any pieces. The other good thing is if you run it through a few times, because these little pieces are so delicate, if it's not cut all the way through and you force your piece out, you could tear it. So it's really important that you get a good die cut. Make sure it's all, you can see the die underneath, and then that way when you're popping through all the pieces, you're not going to have ruined your whole piece by it coming out. Now, when I did my other one yesterday, see, I'm just pushing this out a little bit, and quite a few of the pieces actually stay in the die, so that makes it a little bit easier as well. So with these, you can just punch them through, and just make sure when you're pulling them out that you don't rip, because these are so tiny. You really don't have much there. Okay, so I can move this to the side. I did do one yesterday because I really didn't want to take up too much of your time doing that. So we have that piece ready to go. And I just want to quickly show you those adhesive sheets that I've used. They come in a pack of 12, and they are fantastic. Even if you purchase them and then maybe go halves with someone, a friend or a neighbour, it's a great little stash to have in your cupboard. Alrighty, so we're going to move back to the card. We've got the shimmery white cardstock that we're going to do our ink smooshing technique. I'm also going to bring in just a mat that I use with all my wet, when I do wet watercolouring and all those sorts of things. So we're going to use this one, protects my surface a little bit. I've also got a spritzer. Now, these are in the catalogue. You can get two in the pack, and I always have one with water in my desk. This comes in really handy. You can do so many different techniques with this one. And the other thing that I wanted to just let you know about, to do the ink smooshing technique, I have just a piece of plastic. Now this is just one of those sandwich bags, which are very inexpensive. I cut it in half and keep it on my desk. Cleans away perfectly. The other thing is, if you've just gotten a Stampin' Up order, or the next time you do get a Stampin' Up order, when you get these little plastic packets, this is for the glimmer paper, for instance, or your die set, keep them, because they work really well with this technique as well. Hi Judith, yes, I'm going to give you permission to be a messy stamper today. This is a really fun technique, so you're going to have a lot of fun. So with the three colours that we're going to use, I'm going to start off with the Balmy Blue, and all we're going to do is we're going to add some of that ink down onto our plastic, and because this is so light, I've put a fair bit of ink down there. I really want that lightest to really stand out and the starry sky to be just a little bit. So as we go through the colours, I'll use less and less ink down there. It is very foggy here too, Judith, so it's foggy everywhere, which is nice. So we have our ink down. I'm going to give it a couple of squirts of water, and this is just plain water. And you can use as much or as little as you like. I like to just see how much I have there. You can always add more, and then you'll get this amount of ink. The fun thing to do is to turn it over, and then we're just going to gently press down on our cardstock. And you can add more water, to excuse me, to the plastic. First thing in the morning, my throat is so funny. I did get a bit of cuppa in this morning, so I thought I'd be right. But anyway, so we're just going to bring all that colour in. And like I said, I want quite a bit of this light balmy blue to show through. And the great thing is no card will ever be the same. Each card will be different because you can't work out where splatters are going to go or anything like that. So I'm using all that ink that I placed on my plastic. Okay, so I do need to clean off my plastic before I go to the next colour. You could probably get away with it if you didn't want to clean it, but because we're going from light to dark, I like to just clean my surface as I go. That doesn't sound like me. I don't usually clean my surface as I go. And if anyone watched my unboxing yesterday afternoon, I still have all my unboxing things all over my desk. So I don't clean as I go normally, but with this I will. So doesn't that look great? Because I have just a bigger blob here, I'm going to use my heat tool just to really dry that off before we start with the next colour. Now I've used the shimmery white cardstock, which holds water quite well. You could also do this technique with the Fluid 100 paper, and if you're not using a lot of water, you could also use the thick basic white. But just be careful how much water you're placing down on your thick white. That is so pretty. All right, so let's move on to the next colour, which is Pacific Point. This is quite a beautiful blue. One that I don't use very often, but I really do like Pacific Point. So we're just going to add a few splats of water again. Oop. I'm missing some of your comments. I'll have a look in just a sec. So I'm going to come down and just add a little bit of this colour around. I still want to be able to see that beautiful balmy blue. So I probably won't use all the ink that is on my plastic here. Now just remember too, we're sticking that die cut over the top, so you're just seeing the background. Oh, I love that bit there. That looks great. So let me know, what colour combo would you do using this technique? I want to get the ends. I really like that, so that's how we're going to leave it. Try not to get ink everywhere. This is a messy technique, but it's really great. Just going to dry that one off as well. Darcy, I'm with you. There is no such thing as a neat stamper. Those are enigmas. Had Calypso Coral from one end to the other. Stamp messy and cleaning. Calypso Coral's a nice colour to have everywhere though. Marian's thinking of purples. Awesome. And this shimmery white paper is so beautiful. It really has a beautiful shimmer to it. All right, so now we can come in with our Starry Sky, which is a beautiful, it's more of a, if you think of a navy and then add royal to it, royal blue, I don't know, super nice, I really like it. And this is probably way too much, so I might add a little bit less water. So I've done 3 squirts for the other colours. Just don't want big blobs of it. Try and control Starry Sky as much as we can. Let's bring this down. Oh, this is pretty. I'm going to add just a little bit more water now that I have some of my ink taken up. And like I said, each time you do this, it's going to look a little different. You're never going to get any uniformity with this style. So I've got a little bit of white around the areas, and I'm okay with that. I don't want it to be too overpowering. It is a background anyway. I really like that. I think that is really pretty. We're going to stick with that one. We have a nice big blob just there. So I want to heat that and just dry that off. Glenda says Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape and Just Jade. Oh, that would look so pretty. And you don't have to stick with 3 colours. You could choose more, or you could do just 2. Completely up to you guys. I just sort of grabbed, well, I knew Starry Sky was something I really wanted to use, and I grabbed the Pacific Point, and because they were both so dark, I wanted to get something a little bit lighter. So, and the funny thing is the Marmy Blue actually looks a little bit more green with this. So that's funny. Just because the other 2 blues were so bright. So because we've added a little bit of water, you want to add a bit of heat to the background. This will make sure that your paper goes a little straighter. And you can do that with any watercolouring technique that you do. Always add a little bit of heat to the back, and you'll find it's not so warped then. Perfect. How great does that look? Now you could do this technique and then die cut some dies from it. This would probably look really good too by die cutting that shape, but you probably wouldn't see it quite enough. So I really like that we're using it as a background. So let's bring that card in that we're doing. I'm going to add the die cut that we've done previously. I'm going to take that adhesive sheets off the back. And this turns it straight into a sticker. Let me know, do you guys have the adhesive sheets at home and do you use them? Just got to get the end, there we are. That is amazing. There's one little bit there that I didn't get out. Deborah's used them. Glenda has them but doesn't use them much. Okay. So this should line up with the ends of our beautiful piece that we've just created. If there's any there's a little bit of an overhang down here, so I'm just going to chop that off with my snips. To hide that backing piece. That is beautiful. So as you can see how different they are? This one's a lot lighter, whereas I've gone in with the Pacific Point Starry Sky and done a lot more. Anyway, all good. We're going to attach this one to the front of our card with some dimensionals. If you guys been following my social media, have you seen how many dimensionals I've gone through doing swap cards? Oh my goodness. That's okay, I've got quite a few packets in my drawer, so always keep tons of dimensionals, but I don't think you can make a card without them. So making sure there's plenty of support there for our design. And we just want to make sure that it's even top and bottom. Okay, so we can move this to the side. I have that shimmery white cardstock that we're going to grab that other die from. Now in this set of dies, and I'm not sure what they're called, they are in the description and over my blog. Actually, they're not in the description, they are in my blog. You can see the purchasing links, but this one here works perfectly with that sentiment. So I can bring in my little mini machine and quickly pop this one through. I probably could have used just the basic white, but I really wanted to use the shimmery white to tie in with the card and give a little bit extra shimmer to the sentiment. So that sentiment did come from the Simply Succulents stamp set. This one here. Oh. And if I die cut any extras, I always just pop them in my case. I probably should grab a little plastic bag or something and stick them in, but anyway. That'll be fine. And we're going to use the Starry Sky because That's my favourite, and we're using the Starry Sky ribbon to top it off. Beautiful. Now I'm leaving the inside basic white cardstock empty. I'm not actually going to stamp on that. I'm going to leave it completely with nothing on it. You could please yourself. I just was a little bit worried about sticking. I didn't really want to stamp any of these ones in the inside, so I thought I would leave it blank, but you do want to add the basic white so they can write on. There we go. Oh, I've put that in the wrong one. So when I made this, I didn't put one on the inside. I'll put another one on the inside here. Won't matter. But we are going to bring in a few of the embellishments from the new annual catalogue. These are the 2022-2024 in colour matte decorative dots. We're going to use those. And we've also got the metallic woven ribbon in the Starry Sky. And for this one, to add that sentiment, I'm just going to create like a bow effect. Just like that. So it's going to be big enough. Cut that off. And this looks like a bow, but we're not going to add bulk on the back because we're just going to leave it like that. So you could make this a little bit smaller if you didn't want it quite so big. This looks so pretty, and the sparkle in this ribbon is gorgeous. You can get them in all 5 of the new in colours. They would work really well. Oh, thank you everyone. There we have it. So a beautiful big bow. We're going to add some dimensionals to the back here to pop him up. Judith, I use a lot of large dimensionals. I do have small dimensionals as well, but I find I only use them on really tiny things that I want to pop up, which is not very often. The great thing is if you've got the larger dimensionals, you can cut them down to smaller ones as well, if you need small ones. Oh, thank you so much, Glenda. I appreciate that. So we can pop this one down in the middle. And then let's bring in those gorgeous matte dots. Now these come in all 5 in colours. They also have gradients of colours, so the ombre effect. And I'm going to use the Starry Sky to add. Oh, he didn't come up with his sticky. He still didn't. Alright, I'll go another one. I probably should be using my Take My Pick tool. There we go. The Take My Pick tool is a great tool to pick up all your embellishments with, and I'm going to add 3. Super cute. So different. Don't they look so different? One's a little bit lighter and this one's a bit heavier with the Pacific Point. Not so much with the Starry Sky, but a lot more Pacific Point. I think they're just absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you are in need of any of the supplies that I've used on today's card, you can purchase them in my online store. There is a link to my online store in the description of this video, and over on my blog there are clickable links to all the products I've used. I would really love it if you come and joined in this week's challenge. So ink smooshing is the theme. You can do this technique on any card. Use any colours you want, use any stamp set, anything that you would like to use. Take a photo of it and then come on over to my Facebook page, The blog post or the post for this challenge will be at the top of my page. Pop your card in the comments, and then come and see what everyone else creates as well, because it's always so nice to see what everyone creates, and I would love people to join in. Use what you have in your stash. If you don't have Stampin' Up, just use what you have. It's just all about creating, having fun, and being a community. So thank you so much. I absolutely love this. The shimmer and shine is gorgeous. Now quickly before we go, I just want to remind you, on Thursday at 5 o'clock, I'm doing my normal live, but I'm doing a Biggest Morning Tea fundraiser. So it'll be a tea workshop using the Tea Boutique suite. We're making 4 projects, and anyone who purchases from me using the host code that we'll have for the Biggest Morning Tea, I'm going to be giving my full commission, so 25% of all your orders I'll be giving to the Cancer Council for the Biggest Morning Tea. So please let your friends know, if you live in Australia and you have friends who like crafting, who purchase Stampin' Up, please let them know to come and join me. I would love it to be able to give a nice big donation to the Cancer Council. But if you're overseas, please come and just join in, come and see the projects, and just have fun with us. Okay, so we've got a few people going to be trying it. That's fantastic. And Marion says she has not done the ink smooshing in a while. So awesome. Oh, I really hope that you'll find a little bit of time this week to create a card and come and show us. All right, everyone, I'll see you on Thursday for the Tea Boutique workshop, and hopefully you can come back and join me next Sunday here at 8:30. Have a wonderful weekend, what's left of it, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.